Good show, good show, good show. Best Bachelor recap ever on the internet. Let's go, let's go. Hello, welcome to You Know Something with Dena and Tia. I'm Dena.
And I'm Tia, and today is November 6, 2024, and this is the 7th episode of BachChat.
That's right. It's the very special one, Tia, where we have fantasy suites. Ooh, overnight fantasy suites. And we'll see how that goes in this episode. It's very important. Joan has 3 men left. They have gone to Tahiti. And Joan is on a ship. This is the cold open. They always have to little tease us. Joan is on the ship. She's tearful. She came in feeling hopeful, coming into this whole journey. And then she gradually got comfortable. And now
her hope is down to nothing.
Yes. And we're like, ooh, what has happened? What has happened? Did somebody fall overboard? What has happened? So they go to Tahiti. We're going to find out. They go to Tahiti, and Joan says it's the most beautiful place she has ever seen. It's a beautiful ship. Now, Tia, you're a world traveler. That's the first thing I thought when I was watching. We didn't watch together. I wonder if Tia's ever been to Tahiti.
I have not, but it is absolutely stunning, and I've got more to say about that later on.
Okay. All right. So Tia has not been to Tahiti.
No, I have not.
What I saw, it did look beautiful. And I just like to say
stunning.
Tahiti. It's just fun to say. Joan is feeling a little lonely because, the men have always had each other to talk to all this time in the house. And she's always just been by herself. And she's feeling a little far away from home, lonely. She would love to have a friend. Well, coincidentally,
I don't think it was coincidence. Nancy showed up.
Yeah, and I've always loved Nancy.
Okay, I don't remember Nancy.
You don't?
I really don't. I swear. I was like...
How funny.
Because when she said, it's Nancy, I thought she was from, like, one of the Bachelors. Until she got closer. Then I knew.
Well, she was very classy and quiet and didn't make a big impact, I guess, on the show, which is why she was sent home. But that doesn't mean she's normal.
I think she's very, very pretty.
Oh, she is. She's beautiful. Very classy. But Joan is truly shocked. She sees her coming toward her and she's like, what in the world? Nancy? And I wondered if she even knew it. And then I heard an interview with Nancy, Tia. And she said...
Of course you did.
Of course. I do my research. Nancy became good friends with Joan after the Golden Bachelor season.
Right, because they live close to each other.
Yeah, just like 20 minutes away, something like that. And she lives in Virginia and Joan lives in Maryland. Nancy said she got a call from the Bachelorette producers, and said, Joan is feeling really sad and lonely, and we would love if you could come talk to her and be on the show. She said, oh my gosh, I would love to. I'd love to. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be there for her because she would be there for me. I'd love to come back to Los Angeles and see some other people anyway. And they said, well, about that, you will be coming to Los Angeles, but you'll be coming to Los Angeles to take a flight to Tahiti. And she was like, what?
What the what?
And you need a very tropical looking dress to wear. And you'll be gone this amount of time. And she said, okay. And they said, here's another thing. You have to be sneaky. You can't tell anybody. Joan can't know. And you have to go buy a disguise. She said, what do you mean by a disguise? And they said, well, you're going to be on the same plane that they're on. And you're going to be on that ship that they're on. But she can't recognize you. She said, what kind of disguise? What am I supposed to wear? A mask? What am I supposed to do? She said, okay, I'll try to figure it out. So she goes and buys a long blonde wig. She wears a mask, like for germ protection. She wears a baseball hat. And they said, she said, when do I have to do all this? And they said, well, Sunday. And she said, okay, so next week, I've got a week. And they said, no, day after tomorrow, Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So she's a good friend. My point in the story, she's a good friend. But
she's a great friend.
They got to the airport. They're going to get on the same plane. She's got this ponytail on. And they said, well, don't have to worry too much because Joan is in first class. You're in coach. So you're going to be going different directions. So Joan gets on and goes to up to first class. And I remember seeing her sitting in the airplane, saying, let's go. Well, they usher Nancy down to the end of the plane. So she flies this entire flight on the same plane without her knowing, is on the ship, boards the ship without her knowing. And so her surprise was genuine. But I thought, well, Nancy, you're pretty cool. So she gets there. We see they are so happy. That reunion was so touching to me. So you helped me with this conversation. I have some notes here that are kind of confusing me. Joan says the fantasy suites are important to her because she wants to be able to say things to the men without a camera. This is what she's telling Nancy at the time. And so Nancy says, well, gosh, who's left? What has happened? I don't even know what's happening. She said, well, it's down to 3 guys. I've got Guy. I feel safe with him. He's handsome. He's a little further along than I am with my feelings. It's kind of a slow burn. And Pascal, I have strong feelings for him, which I was surprised she said that. He's confident, has a sexy swagger, which is a turn on. But I'm not sure how he feels about me, and he's the most guarded. And then there's Chock. He's a great kisser. He's already said he loves me, but is he too good to be true? And, of course, she talks about her ex-husband to Nancy, how much she still loves him, and she's feeling guilty. And I think Nancy was there to reassure her that it's okay to find love again, and yet it's okay to feel guilty too about your husband.
Right. She said, lonely is not a place that you stay, that you walk through.
Yeah, it's a place you walk
through.
What
I wrote is what she told Nancy is Guy is a little further along than she is. Pascal is the most fun, but he's guarded. Chock makes her feel safe and sexy, but he may be too good to be true.
Yeah. So that's really the only bad thing she ever says about Chock is maybe this isn't real because it seems too good. So I don't know if Nancy is a poet or a meme maker or if she saw this somewhere, but like I said, lonely is not a place you stay, it's a place you walk through. So I thought that was cool too. I heard Joan on an interview too, and she, she's very hesitant to fall in love with anyone on this, but she has been trying to date for a while. She says she used to go to restaurants and sit at the bar to eat rather than sit at a table because you can meet people easier at a bar. A man's not going to come up to your table. So she tried that. She tried dating apps. But she had almost just given up. But she had applied for I can't remember if she applied for this or if her family did it. There was some of the family did it. But then she got the call from the Golden Bachelorette, so she quit trying. But she has tried to. She says she doesn't want to be alone. So that's all the notes I have. And then she says, you know what, I have to go on a date now. I've got to go. She's like,
right now?
Some people have said on podcasts that she said, I have to go on a date. And it's Guy, but I don't think that means anything. They're trying to play into the fact that she said have to go. I just think she means I have to go. So, for Guy, they're on the Isle, Maria, in the island of Tahiti, and they're going to go snorkeling. And before Guy talks to the cameras, he says he really feels strongly about Joan. His palms are sweating. He's missed her since the hometown date was the last time he saw her. Then they meet on a dock, and they hug. And he says...
Wait, time out.
Sure.
I said, on the way to see Guy. Okay. Wow. Hot, 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 hot. She looks awesome.
So she actually... That's a good point, because she wanted to look good to see him.
No, she did.
Yeah. He said he can picture a future with her. And then Joan said, I'm hoping I might catch up to him in the feeling department today, which, means she still feels like he feels stronger about her. But I'm going to go in with an open mind and be swayed to feel stronger about Guy. So that didn't sound real great to me. They talk on the boat about, do you remember what she was wearing? I know they jumped in the water with a...
Yeah, I know what she's wearing.
Okay.
She was wearing a midriff top with a wraparound skirt. Her bathing suit was under it. And, wow.
She's got a little waist. When she wears those hourglass dresses.
Yeah. Look, yum.
Yeah. That's all Guy needs. Maybe she should have dressed down a little bit for Guy. He's so enthusiastic. So they talk about the hometown date. And he tells her that his family loved her. And she loved them. And he said, I kind of think we're at the same place. We both are ready to retire. We want to spend time with our grandkids. We want to travel. And he refers to Joan when he saw her as freaking perfection, Tia. So he felt like you did about how she looked. And that's probably the less she's worn around any of them for them to know. You know, you don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
You start revealing skin when you go to Tahiti, I guess. So they do go snorkeling. I've never...
Wait a minute. I said 2-piece bathing suit. My hat is off. To her, she rocks.
Yeah. She just whipped that little sarong off, which I probably would have never done. I'd be like, I'm going to jump in with the t-shirt on.
I'm going to jump in with pajamas on.
You go, Joan. You go. And she probably has insecurities, but she thought, I'm going to be confident. You know, confidence is
She
sexy.
needs to be confident.
So after they do the snorkeling part, do you have anything else to say about the...
Yeah, I said, I don't like the play on going underwater and kissing for the camera. Goodness gracious. Like, is one not enough?
So what do you mean by that?
Well, they kept making them go underwater and then taking pictures. That just, ugh.
Just seemed too staged for you. Is that what you mean?
It was entirely too staged because they kept going underwater. Do it one time when they're actually doing it, and don't make them go underwater again and again and again to get a picture. That was just...
Okay. That was just your direction as a director. So I just put that after that snorkeling part of the date, Joan said, guys, makes me feel hopeful. We took a big leap. I think we're there now. Whatever there might be. And that was just from the snorkeling part. They haven't even gone to dinner yet, so. They did kiss quite a bit, though, in the water. I mean, they were making out.
Because going under the water.
You think they were kissing just because the producer was saying, kiss again? Kiss again.
I do.
Okay. Well, that's too bad. But maybe he's a good kisser. All right, so then we see Jessie talking to Chock while probably Joan is showering off the ocean so she can get dressed for dinner. Chock says he's all in. It's either going to end in an engagement or him being heartbroken if she says no. So that's a bold statement.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
An engagement or being heartbroken?
I said, yeah, Chock says he's in love with Joan to Jessie. Engagement or heartbroken. That's exactly what I said.
He's afraid she might develop stronger feelings for the other guys. He's concerned about the fantasy suite. You know, what's going to happen in there, and is she going to really get connected to someone? He thinks the guys are great, but he doesn't really think they're suited for Joan. Obviously, he thinks he's suited for Joan. He is in love, he tells Jessie, and he doesn't throw that word around easily, and it would be devastating if Joan didn't reciprocate his feelings. Did you have any other notes or feelings yourself about the conversation with Jessie?
With Chock? No.
Do you feel like he sincerely means all that, or is he just kind of an enthusiastic person?
I don't know. He's wearing on me.
Okay. You think he's just
in
too
not a
much?
good way.
Too good to be true.
Well, no. I don't think he's too good to be true. I think he's too big of a mush head.
Oh, okay. Coming on too strong.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of feel like Guy is just right. His level of... Pascal is too wall built up. Guy is, here's what I'm going to say, but I know you got to do this, but I want you to know this. I don't know. I'm just kind of digging how Guy's attitude is. All right. So I put, meanwhile, Joan and Chock are making out in the, Joan and Guy are making out in the water. We already talked about that. Okay, so time for dinner with Guy. Joan said we've really progressed. I feel as strong a connection with him as the others, and it's one of the best dates I can think of. I put stingray talk. That means maybe Guy was saying he'd never touched a stingray before or something. I don't know.
Or saw a stingray. I put Guy is a smolder that just opened up.
Oh, Tia.
Guy is more than hopeful.
Okay, we're feeling good about Guy then, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah. So she talks to Guy about the fantasy suites. And she basically says, I'm not going to bonk 3 different men in one night, which...
Right. And I said, rock on, John.
Yeah. That's what they
regarding
do on
the fantasy suite.
Now let's reflect back to Jerry's season on the fantasy suite night.
Who?
Gary.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I was calling him Jerry by accident.
Oh, okay.
He had no qualms about bonking 3 different people.
He's just like gross anyway. But I said, what was the purpose of the round table meeting?
Oh, what does that mean? I don't remember.
Well, that's where Guy and Joan were sitting before they would go to the fantasy suite. And there's a round table. They had drink. And I'm like, why
That
are
was
you
supposed to
sitting
be
at a
dinner.
round table?
That was supposed to be their dinner date.
Okay, nobody ate.
I know, and that's above me, and I've heard that before, and I looked it up. They are told not to eat. The producers say, we're going to lay this big spread of food out, but don't touch it because nobody looks good eating.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I'd be eating.
You should take like a big crab leg and
I'm
pop
hungry.
it over.
I'm eating.
Well, my question is, why do they always show the food on the, they always show it
What's
at the
the
end.
point?
Yeah, they showed that big charcuterie board on the yacht, and it was just not touched. And I think maybe they got to show it for, all right, this chef went to all this trouble. We're going to advertise this ship or this restaurant, so we're going to show the food. But, or is it a running joke? Like, look, they never took a bite, but they did not take a bite of it. It looked good. All right, so they had their, quote, pretend dinner, pretend eating. Guy is impressed by what she said about there's not going to be any bonking in the fantasy suite. As a matter of fact, there's not even going to be a bed in there. She had all the beds taken out. And he even said,
I don't know why you call it bonking.
I'm just
Really?
trying to think of a family-friendly word.
Well, how about they're not going to be intimate?
Intimate.
Okay.
Well, she wants to be intimate, but emotionally intimate. But you're right. So Guy says, when you get intimacy means one thing when you're young, and then it means something different when you get older. And I do want to have.
It's exactly what it means.
Now, wasn't that a perfect thing to say too, Guy? Guy said, you really make me feel special. And Joan said, it's easy because you are special. So they both agree emotional intimacy is what they want to try to achieve that night. Next thing we know, it's morning. And I think Guy was walking down the beach, fully dressed.
I know, and I said, Guy looks so stinking hot in red and white.
He did, didn't he? He
Yeah,
looked really good.
a lot.
And last year and most Bachelor seasons, you see him come out of the fantasy suite, or they're laying in bed talking. This, we don't even know of how long he stayed. Did they fall asleep on the couch? Did they talk all night? I never understood exactly when he left or what happened, but he was happy. He was feeling good. And Joan says her feelings about Guy are now as strong as her other connections that she has. So that was a good conversation that they had, I think. So the next day, when I saw it was going to be Chock, I thought, uh-oh, because usually Chock they save for last. So I thought, what is going on with Pascal? Which we will talk about. And if you watched it, you know. So Chock. Joan is in I put white flowy outfit. I think it was kind of like knee-length gauzy shorts, maybe?
Well, no.
Okay.
It went to her ankles.
Okay.
Because it looked like a dress until she walked.
Then it was
Because
two-piece.
I thought I think it's a one-piece.
Oh,
like
did
a little
you?
jumpsuit.
Oh.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that look?
Oh. Well, let's proceed and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Because I said she realized how much she misses him.
Yeah. He said, I've traveled 5,000 miles to see you again after hometowns, but I would travel 20,000 to go to Tahiti for free. I would travel.
Because you had a cringe-worthy meeting with your family.
Wow. All right. He said she looks fabulous, which I think she did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Joan says she's really missed him, like Tia said. And then they're going to get on an ATV, or would you call it a dune buggy kind of thing? Kind of a cross.
It was kind of like I said, the ATV and helmets, no thank you.
You would never wear a helmet, would you?
No.
You just risk a head injury.
No helmet? Yes. Here we go. She feels safe.
Yeah. Although he drove like a maniac. She kept saying faster, faster. But those things are dangerous. I was like, they're gonna flip over. I mean, even a golf cart too fast is dangerous. But she asked for it, and he obviously knows how to drive them because he has them on a farm. Maybe I think he said he's got them jacked up. He said on a farm. So they go island exploring, which is a cool date. I'm not sure she was dressed appropriately for that.
That's exactly what I said. I probably wouldn't have worn what she wore for this adventure.
Yeah, because you're gonna get mud
I think
splattered.
the place that they went, I could have fallen, that's what I wrote, I could have fallen in love with Frankenstein. It's gorgeous. That's what I said.
It really is. That's funny. Frankenstein. Yeah. She said that Chock is so romantic. She lets him drive, like we said, and he drives like a lunatic. But she told him to go faster, faster, faster.
Oh, safe.
I put, that is very dangerous, Joan. Let go of his hand so he can drive with two hands. But yeah, she trusted him, and she felt cherished. She felt cherished while he was slinging her around all over the front of the ATV. Wow. He said, I've missed you, and I'll say it 1,000 times, Joan. So they decided to have a picnic, which was a cute idea. I just put popped champagne, which Tia knows how to do that really well. I cannot do that, but it was a good pop. Chock said, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. And Joan, I put, Joan, I wasn't sure how you felt. Now, how could she not know how Chock feels? He talks about it all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
He said, well, I hope you know now. And I was just thinking about how their eyes are just so blue and sparkly, and they look at each other like, she doesn't look like that at any of the other guys. So then I started feeling bad for Guy. Joan says he's looking forward to talking to her in the fantasy suites. Do you have anything else about the picnic, the day date?
No.
Okay, so then they go on dinner on the boat.
Wait, time out.
Oh, sure.
Because I said Joan uses Kenra hairspray. Yay!
Did she say, oh, you saw her getting ready? And she
and she had the Kenra hairspray.
How
yes.
funny. We love
And
Kendra.
I said, I love her dress.
Yeah, and I can't remember it. Now, see, I usually pay attention to the fashion and drive you crazy about it, but now I can't. You did it.
Yeah, but I said, oh, laugh out loud, another round table.
Do you remember what her dress looked like, or you just knew you liked it?
I just knew I liked it.
I can't remember the color or anything.
It was like a bronze color.
Oh, okay. She looks good in that color. Chock professes his love at the round table with the food they're not going to eat. We are great together. I was struck from day one. Now, maybe I sound overconfident, like cocky or whatever, but that's just who I am. So I'm just wondering if he's likes to be the winner. He doesn't want to lose. It's not really about... If he felt that way from day freaking one...
Well, okay, I put overly confident from day one. Why are you not eating again?
I swear we weren't in the same room when we watched this. We want all the food from the Golden Bachelorette. That's all we want.
And then I said, trust me, you're seen.
Oh, yeah, Joan.
Oh,
you
good
are
Lord.
seen. What do you want him to do? Crawl down on top of your dress? All right. So Joan says Disneyland was when she really started feeling for him. Well, that was the first date, I think. Chock's mother's celebration, she teared up, and it touched Chock when he saw her tear up. Now, on Joan's interview, she said she felt very uncomfortable on that date, which we thought we would feel uncomfortable on that celebration of life date.
Yeah.
And she said, I felt like a...
Cringeworthy.
Yeah. She said, I felt like an intruder. And she said she had on, the little chicken cutlets you wear instead of a bra. If you have on a sundress, you put little rubber. She had those stuck on at the celebration of life with Chock. And she said it was 110 degrees. And they'd all have to go inside and cool off and then go back out and film a little bit more and go back in. So it was a kind of a big production, which is kind of gross if you think about it. But anyway, she felt her chicken cutlet crawling down her chest.
They didn't say this on the show.
It was an interview.
Okay.
And she said, this is a very solemn occasion. She said, I could feel it crawling down my waist on the sweat. And she said, then it fell out the bottom of my dress. So she stuck her heel in it real hard. Nobody knew it. She stabbed her heel in it real hard, and she just walked back to the house with it stuck on the bottom of her shoe. And she said, then when I got to the porch, I took it off and threw it in the bushes. So I thought that was a cute little behind-the-scenes story. But in any case, he was touched by her behavior at the celebration of life. I guess he didn't know she lost her chicken cutlet. So Joan takes the date card out and gives it to him. He said, I forgot my glasses, so she has to read it. It's an invitation from Jesse to go to the fantasy suite. I put Joan tells Chock no nookie. He understands. So I went from bonk to nookie. So
Okay, I just say no intimacy again.
You're so
And I
classy.
went, I wonder, do you put on your cozies? My cozies are my pajamas. So I'm just
Oh,
wondering, do you put
oh.
on your pajamas? And she said no physical contact. Chalk is making it seem like, well, she can tell you,
That was afterwards. Well,
right.
what was his reaction to her saying, no wonka wonka? I think he was positive about it too, right? He understood too. Did he seem disappointed? I don't remember him saying.
I don't. He's turned me off, so
Yeah,
now I'm not paying attention.
I understand. I understand. I feel like he reacted positively to it too. Um, and I'm like you, T. That's a good question. Do you get all cozy? I would. I'd get a blanket and
I would put
pajamas.
my pajamas on.
Yeah.
If there's not going to be any like intimacy or anything like that, and we're just going to talk, I'm not going to wear my heels and dress. I'm going to put my cozies on.
I agree, T. I agree. Of course, he needs to be able to do that too. So you could get a pair of men's pajamas, fully covered pajamas too for him. All right. So I put they are making out big time
Mm.
on the couch, and then Joan says, "You guys can go now," and then Chalk slams the door and locks it and says, "Have a great day." So I thought that's kind of a mixed message. I guess you can make out.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine and make out. I don't know how much talking was done, but they definitely were making out. So the next morning, Tia, you wanted to say how Chalk. Is that what you were wanting to say?
No, I just said he's making it seem like, well, she can tell you, but not me. And I'll put, oh.
Yeah, like he wants you to think something
Right.
happened, right?
And that makes me mad.
Yeah. What did you do in there? I'm not telling. Yeah. What would he, how should he have reacted, do you think? It wouldn't have made you mad.
Just like Guy said, I had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And that's it. Leave it at that.
Right. I agree. But they definitely wallered a little bit on that couch. To use a southern word, they wallered. That date is over. I think it went well. And then Joan is talking about Pascal. She says she has strong feelings for Pascal. And I put most excited for the date with Pascal. And I don't know if that meant she said that or did she seem like she was the most excited to go see Pascal.
She thought she was further along than Pascal.
Yeah, maybe she has more feelings than he has. You might be right, Joan. So Jesse has a talk with Pascal. I'm going to say Pascal, okay?
Okay.
Since that's what you say. What are you struggling with? He asks him. My previous relationship, we had fire for each other for 2 years. Now, that's not a long, I don't consider that a long relationship, but they would break up and make up and break up and make up. And I wonder what that's about. Was it, you're not committing to me, Pascal? And he'd say, well, no, I can't. And she'd break up. And then they get back together. Well, I don't need you to commit to me. You know, I'm making up things in my head.
Yeah, you are.
Or did he cheat on her over and over? I mean, what? When you're in your 60s,
Don't do that.
But what do you break up about in your 60s?
I don't know. I can tell you things that piss me off with my own husband.
Yeah, but you don't break up.
Well, no. I mean, if I wasn't married, I would.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there you have it.
Okay. That's fair enough. And then he said, I eventually decided to move on. I think she wants to get married and he won't. That's what I think. His ex-girlfriend. I can't find her. I've been trying to find her. I want to see what she looks like. I want to know how old she is. I just can't find her. Why isn't she coming out of the woodwork?
I said, wow, he's really deep. He has feelings on top of feelings.
Oh. Ooh, I didn't get that impression.
Yeah, I did.
He said
trust is very important.
Right. Trust about what?
Trust. Like, you trust somebody.
So are you saying that he doesn't trust Joan or Joan doesn't trust him?
No, I'm just saying that trust to him is very important.
Oh, okay. He says that she's still around. The woman is still around and he thinks he might have feelings for her. So she's still in his vicinity, location, physically.
What, you think that?
That's what I put.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what. He said something like, she lives around me. She's around me and I still have feelings for her. So, and he said, well, it's just like Joan. She never stopped loving John. But John is not in her vicinity. He's in another plane at the moment. So it's not the same. He said his kids told him, one day we're going to leave and we don't want you to be alone. And I felt like his kids were so into Joan and thought she was so beautiful. And so I was thinking, Dena, you're stereotyping him because he's from France and good looking and is a charming guy, but I don't know. He said, I need to find someone, and maybe Joan is that person. So he's still open to it before the date, but this week is extremely important to me and to her. He still loves his ex. No, I put, he still loves his ex and he isn't attracted to Joan, ? That was my interpretation of that conversation. Did you feel icky after that conversation with Jesse? Like, ugh, this isn't going to work? Or did you think...
I thought that he was deep and he was bearing his soul. And I thought that, maybe this date would let him either get really close or not.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's probably the more rational. That just shows how we feel about Pascal, the different interpretation that we made. And I put, was Pascal not wearing any socks on this date? I didn't know.
No, you know what I put?
What?
I wished he had worn casual dress shoes with no socks. But he wore sandals.
Sandals.
Dang it.
So the sandals didn't do it for you?
Yes, and I put, I'm hoping he breaks his wall.
Right, yes. So Joan says, if you find the right person, your walls will come down. So I'm hoping that we can move forward. Joan really wants him to meet her family. I think she would really love to bring Pascal in and say, look at this hottie that I might be with and is into me. That would be kind of fun. So I think she wants to do that. They do the traditional Polynesian... first of all, there's a dance, traditional Polynesian dance. Pascal said he wants to just enjoy the day and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have a serious conversation later, though. Let's have fun today, but I need to get serious tonight, which is fair. That's true. They have a buffet of native food. They've had breadfruit, which I don't know anything about breadfruit. Do you?
Mm-mm.
Joan didn't really enjoy it. But Pascal was speaking French with the French Polynesian, so he was happy about that. It sounded good, didn't it?
Loving that.
He loved the breadfruit. I think he was kind of looking at Joan like, you're not worldly like me. That was my interpretation. Once again, they eat out of a coconut. They drink out of a coconut. And then they're eating chicken or rooster is what they were trying to decide, and had a little cute exchange.
It's a rooster. And then he says... Because he says it in French, and he goes, a cock.
Yeah. He made it sound cock-a-doodle-doo. She said, well, that's cock-a-doodle-doo. It tastes like a chicken. And I'm like, well, it technically probably is chicken. It's a male chicken. But I love the way he said, instead of going cock-a-doodle-doo, he said it in a French way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's a rooster.
It was a cock-a-doodle-doo with a French accent. It was cute. So they do that. That was fun enough.
Not really.
And then they have a bonding ceremony.
Wait a minute. I said she's got to let go of John.
Oh, so she must have said something else about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Bonding ceremony. They blow on a shell or a horn. Have you ever tried to blow through a shell? I've never been able to get it to make that kind of noise, but...
Listen to a shell, never blown through one.
We need to put that on our bucket list.
I don't want to blow through a shell, ever.
I put a priest waves leaves over them. Would you call him a priest?
I don't know what I would call... I just agreed with Pascal that this wasn't fun like the other two dates she had. I don't blame him about the ceremony freaking him out. It would have me too. That was unfun for me. That was completely unfun for me. It was beautiful the way they did things, but that was, I think, was the most deplorable date that they could have ever had.
Wow, you were really in tune with Pascal, because I think Pascal had a look of panic. I think he was thinking, "Are we getting married? Is this a marriage ceremony?"
I would have gone.
I think they might be married in Tahiti. I really do. So they were supposed to make part of the ceremony. And if you guys didn't watch, it's a traditional bonding ceremony, and it was very very serious semen and ceremonial. That's the word I'm trying to look for. And they poured water over their hands, and they both were supposed to release something. And Pascal said he wants to release the wall and fear. And Joan poured the water over his hand. And then Joan wants to release the fear of letting someone into my life and that I won't be honoring John's memory. That's why you said, not John again. Okay. So Pascal was trying to go along with it. You know, every step he looked a little scared, but he did do it. He wasn't going to embarrass Joan, I think was why he was doing it. They braided a leaf, braided a sacred leaf together. And the guy broke the coconut and they drank out of it. And I put, did they just get married? So Pascal is confused. He wanted to have more fun, be casual, silly. He didn't want to have an emotion commitment. He was like, what are we doing?
And right. And I said, oops. She feels good. Pascal doesn't.
Yeah, Joan's like, could we be married? I think we're married. Oh. He just wasn't ready for that. And I put, he's freaking out was the expression I used. Mm-hmm. So that evening with Pascal, he's got a lot on his mind. And he did say that this ceremony did freak him out. So I did choose the right words. And so the first thing Joan asked him when they sat down, and I think the producers probably said, why don't you ask Pascal what he thought about today? Because she's like, what did you think about today? He was like, I wasn't expecting that.
I said, he's laying it all on the line.
Yeah. He said, he just kind of started blurting it all out. Mm-hmm. I thought, my family signed me up for this.
Right.
I didn't think I would last this long.
Right.
Joan's face is dropping. And why am I even still here? Why am I here? And I think Joan thought he meant, I'm insecure. Tell me why you like me. I don't think that's what he was doing. No. I think he was like, why did you keep me? She was like, oh, well, you're adventurous and you're fun and you make things happen. And I have real feelings for you. And she said, well, Pascal, if your heart's not ready, that's one thing. But if you saying it's never going to be ready for me, that's another thing entirely. Mm-hmm. And what does Pascal say?
I've been in love. I've fallen in love, and this is not it.
Ugh.
And so I just put rejection is hard. Wow, that's really hard. Mm. I don't know what else to say. That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean that was like a stab
She is
in the heart.
lovable, but she's not for Pascal.
Yeah. So you said, I just don't think I can get to that place that you want me to be. I care about you as a friend, but there isn't a spark. And I think I'm damaged goods. Now he's just trying to make her feel better. I think he doesn't want to say you're just not my type or I'm not feeling it. I mean, he kind of did say that even. Joan's teary-eyed, but she says, it's okay. I'd just like to go. Which, I don't blame her. I mean, it hurt my heart. So Pascal knows she's not okay. He says, I know she's saying she's okay, but she's hurt. I feel terrible that I hurt her. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
And I don't think he wanted to hurt her. The thing about her is she can't be afraid just because, I mean, that's 1 out of 3. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
put your big girl panties on and rock on. You still got 2 people, but he's not one of them. So grow up.
Yeah, she can't marry them all. She can't be with all of them.
Right.
But I wonder if it's more an ego thing and a pain thing than, oh gosh, this is what I wanted to end up with. And how's that going to make Chock and Guy feel when they're watching it? They watched it, and they know that's how she was when he left. And I also thought maybe Pascal is scared and he's panicking. And maybe he'll regret this. Or does he truly never felt that Joan's just not his type, maybe? I don't know. I would tell myself, well, he's just freaking out. He's got cold feet.
I don't think that Joan's his top.
Okay.
I just really don't.
That's the hard truth. Hard truth. And once again, of course, they didn't need to buy the food. But...
Again... God, there's a lot of hungry people in the world.
I know. I hope they feed it to somebody else. Or
they
maybe
can
it's
mail
all
it
fake.
to me.
They say, I'm a phone call away. Oh, I'm a phone call away. I love you too. Kind of all that. See you later, alligator kind of thing. So now Joan is, like you say, lost it. I'm afraid again. Will anybody love me? And that's really where it ends. We don't know. Normally there would be a rose ceremony, but because there's only 2 left, there's not a rose ceremony because the last episode of every season is with 2
Oh, he's excused himself.
He did. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I'd like to excuse myself, please. And that's not unheard of in the Bachelor Nation, but it's usually not when you're in the top 3. You usually do it. You self-eliminate, they call it.
Okay.
A little earlier.
I don't watch, so...
Yeah, this is not
wow.
normal. It's not normal.
Okay.
Joan, in her interview, did say that she was confused because she said, I thought at this point, after I went to their hometowns and he didn't eliminate himself before that, if you're not going to eliminate yourself for that he was into me. She thought, wait a minute, all they have to focus on is me. I've got all these guys that I have to decide between. Why? If he's there at a concentrated period in a house with just me as the only woman, let me meet his family, told me things at the hometown that sounded like he was serious. And as we left the hometown, he whispered in my ear, my wall's coming down. I was shocked. She said, I was just shocked. I'm sorry. Maybe it makes me egotistical. I don't think I'm all that, but I was only that was available. Why was he still there? So she was truly blindsided by that. And I think she would have liked to have been the one to... I'm just wondering if she would have not given him the rose, if their date went well, or if it would have been Guy or it would have been Chock. I always wonder that, but she wanted to be the one to break up with him, quote. Joan's plan on the interview I listened to is that the interviewer said, we don't want to spoil anything, but if you did, let's say you did end up getting engaged to one of these men in the end, how's that going to work? They both live so far away from you. Guy's in Nevada, Chock's in Kansas, and she said, if I were, if I'm ever going to be with somebody and meet somebody, I'm never going to move from Maryland. That's my family. That's my heart. And anybody my age is going to be attached to their family where they are. So here's what I suggest. We both keep our houses. We maybe buy a small place in the middle between the two states, and we spend a couple of weeks here, then we go spend a couple of weeks here. If this family's having a big event, we go to that. Why can't we travel and have fun? And we both have our houses, we're have the means to have a bought house. It's not like it's going to strap us financially. And then we have a central location that we meet. So she solved that issue. But she didn't give it away at all. Like, I couldn't tell what she was saying, but that's a plan. You think you could live that way?
No.
You don't?
No.
I think it'd be kind of nice to have the time away from each other, actually.
Okay.
I mean,
boy.
I know I haven't been in a
You're
relationship.
really wanting to get into something good.
And then I did read an article right before I came here to you about Pascal, and he said that Chock gets on his nerves. Chock basically was a stalker.
He gets on my nerves.
I know. You and Pascal, if it wasn't for Greg, you guys are made for each other. Pascal said that...
Who?
You and Pascal. You have so much in common, and you think about...
Oh, I know he would like me.
Why?
If he didn't like
You're
Joan.
beautiful, Tia.
Oh, she's stunning.
He said that at the bowling alley and all that made him mad the way Chock was acting. He said he was all over her.
Well, I know. He was selfish. That's what I said before.
Yeah, but Pascal said, what? Does he not have any women in Wichita? He's going on over Joan. There must not be any women in Wichita, which sounded like an insult to me. You want to twist that? You want to spin that to make Pascal sound like a great guy?
I think he is.
Okay. Obviously.
I just don't think that Joan was for him.
Okay. That's why I want to see his girlfriend. All right. So that means, Tia, that tonight the Men Tell All comes on.
Yeah, I'm kind of really looking forward to that.
Serious? Are you being sarcastic or are you serious?
Oh, I'm being serious.
Yeah. I know. I miss them. I kind of miss all of them.
Oh, I don't miss them. I just can't wait to hear what they all have to say.
Yeah. They're all just buddies. And then Joan does get a chance to confront Pascal on the couch. I forget what they call that. The couch of doom or something. The hot seat.
Oh.
He'll get to be on the hot seat and she'll get to... I'm sure it'll turn out. They make a big deal out of it, but I'm sure it will turn out just fine. And we know that Pascal dressed as Joan for Halloween.
Right.
And in our time, that was after he had left. We didn't know that at the time. But so he feels like they obviously have a good relationship. What I would think would be cool and it would be dramatic was if he would say, I changed my mind. I shouldn't have gone home. But no, probably not, huh?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, probably
ever.
Probably not. So we'll do that tonight, and they're all going to have the final rose after. Let's see. No. We'll do the men tell all, the conclusion of what we watched and just talked about. In other words, she's got to go back and tell Guy and Pascal at the, quote, rose ceremony. I mean, Guy and Chock-a-doodle-doo.
Yes.
That
She will be
Pascal
telling
skedaddled.
Pascal nothing.
Yeah.
Be like, "Arr."
Yeah. She's going to be like, he is gone. And they'll probably be very relieved to hear that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I was a guy, I wouldn't want to be up against him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would not.
I agree. And Chock and Guy are kind of the same lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's not like one of them has a more exciting life than the other. They're kind of, her life would be.
I don't think either one of them are exciting.
That's what I mean.
To be honest.
I didn't want to say they're both boring. I didn't want to say they're
there
both
you
boring.
have it. Now we got that.
In other words, I don't think the other one's thinking, wow, he's hotter than me as far as life goes and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Who do you think? Do you think it's obvious who she's going to pick?
No, I don't. Because, I mean, the thing with Pascal freaked my freak.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did you feel, were you feel disappointed or?
Oh, no, I was so disappointed I could have thrown up.
Really?
Bad.
So you don't want him for me?
What?
You don't want him for me?
Well, yeah, because Joan's not going to pick him, except you don't like him. So, I mean, only thing you've got anything to say about him is ugly. So,
well, you just...
no, I don't want you to have him because you're not going to appreciate the goodness in him.
I'm not going to appreciate the Pascal of it all.
I know, because it's a lot of yumness, I think. Just saying.
So then part 2 of the finale, Men Tell All. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if the part 2 is going to be on the Men Tell All, like they'll go back and forth, or if it'll be just Men Tell All, and then the next week, November the 13th, there'll be the second part of the finale, and after the final rose where they talk. But anyway, we're just going to enjoy the Men Tell All, and we'll see what happens tonight on ABC.
I can't wait.
And we will recap that next Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay?
Of course we will.
Any final thoughts, Tia?
I'm just wondering if she's going to walk away, and you probably already know it.
I don't. I swear to you, I do not. I don't like spoilers. I don't.
You know everything about, I saw an interview and blah, blah, blah.
They're very protective of that.
But I'm just wondering if she just says, yeah. Because she's going to have a whole lot of suitors after this.
I agree.
And because she's already gotten, like, I did see this, not that I looked it up, I just saw that it was a commercial, that she had already tried to set 3 up, one was working. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, she is matchmaking. And also, in this interview, she said she's really enjoying the attention. Yeah, I'm not trying to make her sound egotistical. I'm saying she has been on a lot of talk shows.
Good.
A lot of press. And she said, I love it. I'm more energized every day. It's not making me tired. I'm flying all over the place. And let's see what else she said. Her sister. And the Mark thing, she said that she called the producers and said, I want Mark on my show. I want him to be one of the men, because she watched him on the previous Bachelor.
Oh.
Because he was the father of a Bachelor. Yeah. So she said, but when he came, she said, he just wasn't where I needed him to be. He wasn't. All he talked about was his wife. And I thought, Joan.
I don't know. All you talk about is your husband. So.
And she said when he started to progress, it was about how great all the men were and how they were such good friends. She said he never mentioned me. So. But she said the yacht date was a great date. It was just edited to make it look like it was not. She said it was a great date. So.
Oh.
So.
Well, then there you have it.
Exactly. So maybe Mark's not so boring. She'd love for him to be the next Bachelor. What else? She thinks the fantasy suite should be renamed the Conversational Cabana, where people just talk and there's no sex.
100% agreement with her.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of people say that you shouldn't talk about what you're going to do. Okay, don't do the deed back, but don't tell us. Just let us fan it. And I thought, no, she was doing that intentionally. I want the world to know I'm not doing it. I think she might work for a Catholic school. She's Catholic and she works for a private school.
I know, but the point of it is I think, what if her morals are just that?
Yeah.
So
she don't want anybody to think that.
If it were me in that position, there's no way that I'm going to play nasty with somebody.
One day, 3 days in a row. With three different people.
No way in the United States of America.
She said the worst part of the show was the kissing, and she knew her kids were watching, and her daughters would call her and say, "We hope you're not kissing anybody." And then they said, "You kissed 4 people, gross." Now that's not kissing. I don't have any problem with kissing. You've got to know if there's chemistry, don't you think?
I know, but I don't think you have to do it like... I wouldn't want to be kissing on TV. I'm sorry. Okay. I wouldn't.
And the woman interviewing her was a bachelorette, and she said, I agree, even if you love somebody, you don't like to see yourself, because you're like, do I look like that when I'm kissing somebody?
I know, because I even said that there was a lot of those men that I said, why does he look like he's eating her? I mean, it's like, he was like taking chomps. Who was it?
And if you don't, I think it was my man, Jordan. I think it was. And if you're not doing that, you're doing the little, and that's gross too.
That's gross too.
That little peck sound. Ugh. Okay, I agree. But she did hope that she had a great time, and she hoped she made it look fun and dignified. That was her goal, to represent her family well. And she said, if I were to get married on television, she said, I would do it because I believe that people deserve to see the happy ending, if there is a happy ending. So
I'm sure that's what Teresa and Gary thought too.
I know.
Boy, that was happy. For who?
All right. I think that's all the gossip I had here. I was just looking at my notes. The rumor is Mark is dating an actress from One Tree Hill. I didn't watch that show, Barbara Woods, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Tia, thank you so much for bringing your thoughts.
Bringing it.
Defending Pascal to
Where are you from?
What do you mean?
Obviously not France.
I'm from
southern
France.
Thanks for bringing it.
I think there is a Paris around here somewhere.
There is. There's a Paris, Tennessee. There's a Paris, Georgia.
Yeah. There's a Rome, Georgia.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for sticking with us, and we're coming around the home stretch, and we'd love to know what you guys think. You think she's going to choose Guy? You think she's going to choose Chock? You think she's going to choose neither? And just keep having fun and traveling and meeting lots of guys. She's got a lot of guys approaching her, I'll bet you now. So we'll see what happens.
If I were her, I'd buy a dog. Or 4.
Buy some dogs and just enjoy your fame. Have fun. Yeah. All right, guys, we love you. I love you, Tia.
Love you.
Thank you for your thoughts. Watch the Men Tell All tonight. I can't wait to see Gary again. Not Gary, but Gary.
Oh.
Not Gary, but Gary.
Little fun Gary.
Yeah, sweet little teddy bear
Little pumpkin lover.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.